So now that we understand the concept of battery storage and the energy storage topologies that we offer at GoodWe, I'll take you through a GoodWe portfolio in terms of what we offer in the DC coupled and then what we offer in the AC coupled range. So at a glance, we believe we have the widest portfolio in the residential hybrid market. We have a lot of flexible application. We have the advanced backup functions. It's an all-in-one box, so we include all the components that you need apart from the batteries and the PV panels that are required for you to achieve an easy installation. The inverters are designed to be quite reliable, quite efficient, and then to top it off, we have the free monitoring, which is our SEMS monitoring portal, which is the smart energy management system that we offer. So in terms of the DC coupled hybrid range that we have in the single phase, so if we're just focusing on the single phase grid connections, we have an EM inverter, which is a 3 to 5 kilowatt inverter. It's compatible with low voltage batteries. So low voltage batteries, we're talking about 48 volt to 50 volt batteries. This has 1 to 2 MPPTs depending on the size of the inverter. So a 3 kilowatt EM inverter will have 1 MPPT, whereas a 5 kilowatt EM inverter will have 2 MPPT. So just be aware of that. Just look on the data sheets. As always, is a good reference in case you need to find out any more additional information. In terms of the maximum discharge and charge power, regardless of the size of the inverter, they are capped at 2.3 kilowatts. And the maximum backup load that you can connect to this inverter is 2.3 kilowatts. If we move along to the ES series, this inverter is a single phase low voltage inverter as well. It's available from 3.6 to 5 kilowatts. Each inverter in this range has 2 MPPTs, and the maximum discharge power and charge power is 3.6 to 5 kilowatts. And the maximum backup load is 3.6 to 4.6 kilowatts, depending on which inverter you choose. So as you can see, the ES inverter is a kind of, it's like the big brother of the EM inverter. So if you have a customer who has a relatively small house and they're relatively price sensitive, then an EM series inverter would be the way to go. If you have a customer who has a little bit more money to spend and they have bigger backup loads, then the ES series would be the choice for this particular end user. Moving along to the EH series, this is also a single phase inverter. It's available from 3.6 to 6 kilowatts. It is a high voltage inverter. So this is batteries from around 180 to 600 volts. They have 2 MPPTs. The max discharge charge power is between 3.6 to 6 kilowatts, and the backup load is 3.6 to 6 kilowatts. So the EM and ES series are kind of older generation inverters that we've improved over the years, whereas the EH series is a brand new inverter which has just been released into the market and does have Synagrid approval as far as I understand. So ready to use in Belgium. Moving along to the 3-phase range, we have the ET series, which is available from 5 to 10 kilowatts. It's 3 phases, I just said. It's compatible with high voltage batteries. It also has 2 MPPTs, and it's available from 5 to 10 kilowatts. So that's 5, 6.5, 8, and 10 kilowatts. Its discharge and charge power is in line with its nominal output rating, so from 5 to 10 kilowatts, and the backup load is 5 to 10 kilowatts. However, the 5 to 10 kilowatts is spread across the 3 phases. So for example, if you have each phase can provide up to 3.3 kilowatts of power on a 10 kilowatt ET inverter. So some of the standard features that are available that are supplied with the inverter is Wi-Fi communication. So we supply the module, the Wi-Fi module. It has CAN battery communication, so that we have a cable there that connects to the battery BMS. All the inverters in our hybrid range is commissioned by the PV Master app. The inverters are equipped with a Type 3 SPD on both the AC and DC sides. They all have a DC switch to allow you to isolate the PV array when you're connecting and disconnecting, and they're all supplied with a smart meter for power control. And in terms of the optional features, if there's a Wi-Fi communication is not suitable for that particular application or the house, then the Wi-Fi module can be replaced with a LAN module without any issues. Are there any questions, Anil, on the DC coupled range before I move over to the AC coupled?
Yes, I have a question, and I will take it in front of me. Yeah, so yeah, it's about charging from the AC side. Is that possible? And also, you know, in Belgium, you have the prices that can vary per kilowatt hour. How can you um, take advantage of that? Suppose
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So all the inverters here that you see can take power from the AC side. So that AC power can consist of either AC power that's generated by another inverter, or AC power taken from the grid. And what you will see in the upcoming slides, I'll take you through a work mode. It's called economical work mode, which will allow you to set discharge and charge times through the week. But I'll take you through that later in the webinar. There is a question regarding Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is standard, so the Wi-Fi module is supplied in the box. If you need LAN, so if the inverter is too far from the customer's router and the Wi-Fi signal is not strong enough to reach or to create a stable connection, then you have the option of replacing the Wi-Fi with a LAN module to connect essentially an Ethernet cable between the inverter and the customer's router. So I understand that installers or electricians prefer hardwire cables, so we do have that option there.
No, so there was also a question about backup load. So yeah, it's actually the load that is connected on the backup output of the inverter. So if the AC side falls off, so it goes off, then the backup load backup output will be activated, and energy is fed in through the battery to the backup load.
Yes, that's right, and I'll take you through that in a couple of slides. Okay, so I'll just move on into the AC coupled systems. You might hear a number of terminologies. A lot of people say different words meaning the same thing. AC coupled can also mean a battery inverter, and they can also mean a retrofit inverter as well. So if you hear retrofit inverters, battery inverters, or AC coupled inverter, they basically are the same thing. So because I guess I'm from a more technical background, I tried to use the name AC coupled as my standard way of describing the products that we have. So in terms of what we have in the AC coupled range, we have the SBP series, which is a 3 to 5 kilowatt battery inverter. It's single phase. It's compatible with low voltage batteries. So your 48 volt batteries, essentially like the LG Chem Resus, that's quite common in the market. And as you can see, the discharge and charge power is 3 to 5 kilowatts. I must say that the discharge power, although it is 3 to 5 kilowatts, it's also heavily dependent on the voltage, the capacity of the battery as well. So you need to check whether the battery is able to also deliver that amount of instantaneous power. So that's one thing to check. The backup loads as well, 3 to 5 kilowatts, you can connect on a single phase for the SBP series. In the BH series, this is the AC coupled version of the EH series that you saw on the previous slide. That looks the same inverter. It's basically the same inverter itself. It just doesn't have inputs for the PV array. So that's 3 to 6 kilowatts, single phase, and it's compatible with high voltage batteries from BYD and Pylon Tech. And it's 3.6 as well, charge and discharge power, and the backup load is also 3 to 6 kilowatts. And then moving along to the BT series, this is our 3-phase AC coupled inverter. So this is I guess the opposite to the ET series that I showed you in the previous slide. Again, it doesn't have any inputs for the PV array. What you will see is basically, if you take a look physically at the inverter, it will have the cutouts, it will have the slots for the PV array, but they'll be covered with, they'll have covers there because they're using the same body. So it's 5 to 10 kilowatts, 3-phase, compatible with the high voltage batteries. Discharge charge power is 5 to 10 kilowatts, and it's also the same with the backup load. Standard features and optimal features are the same as DC coupled inverters. So moving along to the approved batteries. So this is something important to keep in mind. We are compatible with a number of batteries that are available on the market. Please go to our GoodWe.com website and download the latest approved battery statement. This is the document that all the technical managers, pre-sales and after sales refer to when we receive questions regarding which batteries are compatible. So when you go onto the website and download the statement, we'll have a matrix, and then it will show you which batteries are compatible with which inverter that we offer. So when we're looking at the hybrid ET inverter, which is the DC coupled 3-phase inverter, high voltage, we are compatible, as you can see, with the battery box from BYD, which is the HVM, and the HVS batteries, which are the brand new batteries, or the new batteries that they've released towards the beginning of last year, but took a while to get here to Europe. And we're also compatible with the older HV battery box, which may be still on the shelves of some installers or some distributors in Europe. Moving further down, we're also compatible in the ET range also with Pylon Tech, which is either the PowerCube H148 or the Force H1H2, which is also Pylon Tech's new high voltage battery, which was released towards middle of the end of last year. So again, I won't go through all the batteries, but just check the matrix from our website. Make sure you have the latest version when you're designing a system for your end user. What I will say is that any batteries that are used, which are not on this list, this means that the inverter warranty will be voided. So try to keep to the BYDs and try to keep to the Pylon Techs. Try to keep to this to the statement that we have on the website. Over time, we will increase our battery compatibility. This compatibility is driven by headquarters. So once we increase our compatibilities with other brands, then we will communicate that news to the market.